And we're on. This is the Let's Talk Cheer podcast, and I'm your host, Jason Larkin, where we talk cheer, we talk life, and we talk whatever comes to mind. 5, 6, 7, 8, let's get started.
Turn it up, you tuning into Let's Talk Cheer with Jason Larkin. We're talking cheer, we're talking like you know we're always talking. So listen up, you boy, about to go all in. 5, 6, 7, 8, we're on, let's begin.
This is episode number 35. Not sure if there's going to be a 36, but thank you for joining. And we have a great, awesome episode for you guys today. Today we have on Diana Dragan, the owner, operator, CEO, the brains, the power, the creativity behind the Lower Levels Cheer Instagram account and the Cheer Buzz Media Company. She tells us all about those two brands that she runs, not to mention lets us in on who the Dragon really is. But before we hop into that, be sure to like this video, hit the share button, and if it's your first time here, welcome and definitely subscribe. But without further ado, here's my conversation with Diana Dragan. Diana, thank you for joining us all the way from Sweden. How are you doing this morning? Well, morning for me.
Thank you for having me. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm great. You know, another day, another dollar. So we're here. I'm super excited to talk to you and just like share your story with the world. I think this is a story everyone's going to love to hear, just be intrigued the whole time. So, you know, real quick, let me thank you for first that great article that you wrote on our program a couple of years ago. Every time it pops up, the shares get crazy, and just thank you so much. You brought so much joy to our athletes and to our parents and just to all of our coaches, and just reading it. Like, you did such a fantastic job with that article. I just want to thank you. I know you've done a few of those for a couple of different, programs. So thank you so much. You truly do bring joy to the industry. And, you're not the only cheer account out there, but you are one of the few that are choosing to use your platform to spread positivity in our industry. And you're exactly what the industry needs. So I just wanted to, say hats off to you and just thank you so much for your contribution to the industry. It truly means a lot to, me as a coach to know that, there's someone out there, positively uplifting these athletes instead of hiding behind, an Instagram or Twitter, taking that opportunity to bash them. So Diana, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That's exactly why I love doing this.
There we go. So for those who do not know, go ahead and tell everyone about the two brands. What two brands do you have? Yeah,
so I have Lower Levels Cheer, which is like the big one. And that's an Instagram account for level 1 to 4 teams and gyms and just everyone on those levels. And we repost videos from teams all over the world. And then the Cheer Buzz is a media company, actually, that's all about creating content for different platforms for all levels and teams everywhere.
There we go. All right. So we'll hop into those and kind of talk about, what those two brands are, how they came about, and, talk a little bit about you yourself. But so let's start at the very, very beginning. So how did you get into the sport?
Yeah. So it was 2012, I think. I was at a sports camp, actually, in just my local town. And I was there with my sister, and there was different sports to try each day. And then one of the days there was cheer and American football. And I chose American football. I was just not interested at all in cheer. I thought it was boring and what I've seen in movies and not for me. But my sister tried it, and then she started that following season. And then I started watching routines on YouTube before I started, and I was like, This is insane. This is so cool. Because there wasn't an all-star gym in my town. There was just sideline. And I started watching all-star teams, and I loved it. And then I also started that following season. And I've been stuck ever since, yeah.
And real quick, so in Sweden, do you guys call it American football? That's what you call it?
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't ever call it soccer.
We have soccer as another sport. That's what we call football.
Why do you call it American football? Why don't you just call it football?
I don't know, because our word for football is what you call soccer, I guess.
Yeah, so you just call it football and you call the other one soccer. Yeah, I got confused. Yeah, you call it American football. That's weird. I don't know. Well, I guess it's weird to me because we just call it football.
Yeah.
America. Yeah. Anyway, but you call soccer. You don't call soccer football?
Our word for soccer is football, like if you translate it.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
We say football. Football. Yeah.
I love it. All the way from Sweden, people. She's joining us.
Yep.
Awesome. Here we go. When did you start lower levels and why did you start lower levels?
Yeah. I started here, I guess, 2013. And then 2016, I started the account.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. So it took a while. I actually had another account first. I think it was called like Cheerleaders Are Fab or something like dumb. And I had it like for a few months and I closed it because I was like, oh, this is going to get too much. And yeah, I wasn't motivated to keep it. So, but then I started in 2016. I was on my way home from school. I was on the bus and I think I listened to cheer music and I just thought, like, isn't there an account for levels 1 to 4? Because everything is about world teams and like higher levels. So then I made a note and I came up with the name just on the bus and started. Yeah.
So you're sitting there on the bus on your way home from school, listening to cheer music. You're like, you know what? There needs to be, why aren't we representing the lower levels? And you just decided to do it. So at that time, were you still cheering?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
I was on senior 2, I think.
Yeah, crazy. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Good
and
stuff.
I started it like in secret because I thought it was embarrassing. And I didn't tell anyone. Then I remember telling my sister when I had 700 followers and she was like, oh my God, this is huge.
Yeah.
And I thought it was such a crazy thing that people started following. And it sort of just grew as more and more teams got featured and they thought it was fun and sent in videos and just exploded.
Yeah. So when did you actually realize that this could be something big? It's growing at 700, but when do you realize like, hey, this could actually like turn into something?
Yeah, I don't think I have realized even now. Like there's this thing I do that whenever I'm in an arena or see like an event, I always look up the capacity of the arena to like compare like how many people are actually following me. And it's just crazy to see, like I can see a huge arena and it has less capacity than what I have on my account. And it's just, I can't imagine how many people.
That's actually a really good, like, you look up in the arena and go, does this fit 80,000? No, I don't think so. So I'm bigger than this. That's really cool. So obviously growing your accounts to be that big has got to be rewarding. And, like, wow, this is like really cool. I would think it'd be cool for me to grow an account ever to be that big, but you've done it. So what were some of the like, what are the most like rewarding things about, the journey and the success that you've had so far?
Yeah. So obviously like hearing from teams and gyms that have been featured has been crazy. Like I have a Google Drive folder with compliments and comments and everything just saved because it's so fun to see that teams, like I can make someone's day just by posting their stunt.
Yep.
And it's so fun. And I've gotten to know so many nice people and just the community that it has become is just crazy.
That's really cool.
And it's so fun to see that teams actually use ideas and stunts and in their routines that they've found on my account. Like I remember when I was on a senior 3 team and our coaches, we were just stunting, like trying new things. And our coaches went around to all groups and they showed like, this is what we're going to try. and it was a skill. And they came up to my group, and it was a video from my account, and I was like, it was so crazy to see. Like, they didn't know it was my account. And they're like, "Oh, we're gonna try this stunt," and I was like,
Yeah.
"Okay."
That's so cool. So,
Yeah.
man, that's actually, yeah, I was going to ask you, did they know it was your account? That's so cool. So you have this Google Drive folder. Everyone said, you know, every time someone like sends a compliment or just like a nice post, you know, you save it just for like, yeah, that's really cool. Yeah. All right. So we know that in this world, there's no rainbows without the rain. So as good as this has been, tell our audience like some of the struggles that you've had running the account or some like the hard times.
So mostly it's been like internal things, like putting myself down and keeping motivation and like why I do what I do. I've been lucky enough to not get like much hate or comments or negativity or anything. So it's mostly myself, which I guess is good because I can work on it. And yeah, but there has been some from other people as well. And there was last year, especially when, you know, the Black Lives Matter movement and everything. And I feel like I don't think anyone's obligated to share about important topics if they don't want to take that fight or like show that they care about it. But I want to. And so I posted about the movement. And all of a sudden there were these comments like, "Oh, you should stick to cheer, and this has nothing to do with cheer, and I should unfollow you because I follow you for cheer, and this is politics, and don't involve that." And I was just like, I don't know. There was so many negativity, but then also like for every negative comment, there were like 5 positive ones. So it was still good. But like, I want to use my platforms to share what I think is important, and I will continue doing it. But it was hard actually getting so many negative people.
Honestly, very brave, you know, and I think we've all been given the opportunity, you know, we all have a platform, right? All of us have a platform. You know, I get the opportunity to stand in front of the athletes every day, which is probably like my biggest platform, right? I get the opportunity to stand in front of the athletes every day. I get this opportunity to talk in this microphone every day. Some people have huge Instagram following. Some people, you know, just have huge influence in their community. And I think that we are duty bound to use our platform for the right things, right? And we all have to decide what is right and what is wrong with our platform. But I think it is, sometimes we don't know, you know, the repercussions, especially during that time. It was a very hot topic and very, like, you know, sensitive time. There's so many people on this side and so many people on this side where, you know, super brave. I really do commend you for, you know, deciding that you're going to take a risk. You know, you could have said, "Hey, I'm just going to stay in this lane and, you know, just do cheerleading and, you know, try not to offend anyone." But you decided to stand up and say, you know, "Hey, like, these things are going on. I'm going to use this platform to speak up for what I believe is right." So truly kudos. And I truly do commend you for that.
Thank you.
Diana, that's why they call you the Dragon.
Yeah, thank you.
Of course. So let's move on from lower levels. So we have, after lower levels, we decide to start the Cheer Buzz. So you can tell me a little bit about the Cheer Buzz and how that's different?
Yeah. So it's mostly about all levels, not just levels 1 to 4. And it sort of came about as I created a website first, and it was still called Lower Levels Cheer, but I wanted to post more about other levels as well, and just like cheerleading as a whole. And then I decided to rebrand the name and call it something else. And then the Cheer Buzz sort of happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it has now evolved. It's an official business as of August, I think. And
Congrats.
It's just so fun to sort of evolve it and grow it and make an impact, I hope.
Okay. So I know we have, so like you said, it's a full-on business. It's a media company. So I know you have newsletters, website, you have the YouTube channel, along with the Instagram. So tell our audience the different things they can find on those different platforms there. So what can our audience find on on your website?
Yeah, we have different categories of like content. We have articles, which is informational content, like gift guides, how-tos, tips, everything like sort of bigger pieces. Then we have interviews, like the one we did with you, American Cheer.
Yep.
We have some other teams and athletes. We have quizzes and polls, which is everything from like testing your knowledge to like which is your favorite uniform and just entertaining things. We have some general information like competition information and explaining things, like giving as much value and education as possible, because there's not really one place for good information in cheer. So that's sort of where we're trying to like fill in some of the information.
There we go. Okay, so we have the website, and now, and then when people subscribe to your newsletter, the CheerBuzz newsletter, what can they find, or what can they expect on the newsletter, and then how often does that come out?
So that's weekly. Now we send it on Mondays. Used to be Sundays, and it's just a roundup of what's happened, like the latest week. We have like news, major changes, new rules, sort of the things that affect all of us, and then like event recaps. If there was a competition, like you can find the scores here. This is what happened. Here are videos. Just a summary of everything that's happening and sort of being discussed.
There we go. Okay, and then so what kind of videos do you have on your YouTube channel?
The YouTube channel is kind of, it's sort of hard to come up with original ideas, but right now it has mostly skill compilations. We have on all levels, because that's one of the most important things. Like everything is not about levels 5, 6, 7. So we want to highlight all levels. We have some skill progressions that you can watch as a coach or an athlete and see like, this is what you do on level 1, 2, 3, 4 and up. So, you know, like for TikToks, this is what you're expected to do, and baskets and everything, sort of like how it evolves each time you move up a level. We had a video go viral. Actually, it has more than 300,000 views at the moment.
There we go.
Which was just like the top 10 most watched videos, cheer routines on YouTube. So sort of like some random videos, some skill videos, some just fun, entertaining ones.
And that's what I was going to bring up. That's like one of my favorite videos on that page is the, top 10 most watched routines. That's like super cool. I was hoping we were on there, but apparently not. I'm glad we didn't make the cut. It's all good.
It's coming. It's coming.
Hey, there we go. One of these days. Okay. And then what about the Instagram? How is that different than like the lower levels Instagram? Or what can we find on the CheerBuzz Instagram? So
the Instagram is mostly sharing things from the website. So you don't have to check the website all the time. If there's some news or a new quiz or something, we share it there first. And then also some videos, some memes, some like posts and opinions that you can share. And just like a collection of some of the best things we share.
There we go. Dude, these sound great. So this sounds like something everyone needs to be a part of. It's on the screen right now. Link in the description. Make sure you join the newsletter and follow both of them on Instagram. But we'll talk a little bit more about that a little later.
Yeah, thank you.
So do you run both of these accounts by yourself?
Yes, at the moment, mostly. Yeah.
Are you hiring? Do you need someone?
Soon. Yeah, it's starting to get a little too much for just one person, because I've had them as hobbies until recently. So it's starting to become a little like I need to hire out or outsource some things. Yeah.
So how do you come up with, you said the newsletter is weekly, which is that's crazy, as the reason why, I had a blog for a while. And I was scared to pull the trigger on the podcast. I figured the podcast would probably be easier than a blog, at least for me. But the reason why I didn't want to start the podcast is because I know how hard it is to actually come up with content, week after week and try to be consistent. So how do you come up with content? Now you have both of these brands, how do you consistently come up with content for, and it's not even both the brands, because it's the newsletter plus the website plus the YouTube channel, not to mention the Instagram account. So how do you, constantly come up with consistent content for both these things?
Yeah. And this has been like an issue, actually. And it's recently that I've been better at it and creating systems and planning and everything. But for lower level sheer, I'm so grateful that teams send in videos. Like first, when I started, I had to look up videos and find them and sort of look around on Instagram and YouTube. But now everyone just sends in videos, so I don't have to do as much research.
Yeah.
So we're just saving and posting all the time. And then for the other channels, it's much more strategy and planning and everything, because like an article can take 1 hour or like a week to get done. So it's been about creating systems, actually, and like keeping all the ideas in one place and planning and getting everything organized.
Yeah. And what's crazy, like, so my new system, because like I said, I was struggling with trying to come up with, even when we got the ball rolling with the podcast, I was struggling with coming up with like, how am I going to come up with, what should I talk about now? And so what I've learned is every time I come up with an idea, I just write it down immediately in my notes. And, I have my podcast ideas notes, and like every podcast, not every, but at a certain point, who knows what episode I started doing that on, but, let's say it's episode number 10 or whatever. But starting at episode number 10, I have like every idea I've had for the podcast, just like written down, like, okay, like maybe I could talk about this, and maybe we could talk about this. And so definitely, hopefully I can get to your level one day and be like, have a real strategy and a real system. Because right now it's like idea pops in, write it down. Hopefully I remember to talk about it, on the next podcast or whatever. But that's super cool. So we have both of these brands, which sound tremendously busy. Sounds like it's a ton of work. You're by yourself. However, are there any plans moving forward in the future? Like anything we should look forward to coming up next? Anything that you could share with us?
Yeah. So for me, it's about, obviously the goal is to grow a team. But then as the things that you can see, like looking in, it's about growing both brands, creating an amazing community, which we have, but growing it, and just becoming like, the goal for the Cheer Buzz is to become the number one source of information and content that's about cheer. And we also, like, one of the most important things is to be transparent, because there's a lack of that, I think. And then being inclusive, and even more inclusive than we're now. And that's not just like including different types of people, but different teams, different countries, different levels, different everything. So that's a big goal, that we want to include even more types of teams and levels and gyms and everyone. Yeah. And then we have some, like, it could also be growing into new formats, like maybe starting a podcast or a YouTube show or something, like even more different formats that could benefit people. Then also, like, if you want a little hint, we have a YouTube series coming up that I don't want to share what it is, but it's super fun.
She's leaving us hanging.
Yeah. It's coming soon. So
yeah, we'll that's cool. All right. There we go. If you start that podcast, make sure I'm your first guest.
Yeah.
Or I can be your second guest. That's fine. But that's super cool. Dude, Diana, you're awesome. I mean,
thank you.
Again, hats off to you. I mean, for real, like, you talk about just all these things that you're talking about. You truly are, example of what, a cheer account really should be like just a positive influence on the, I said this at the beginning, but you're just proving it again, like just throughout this whole interview, just a positive role model and having a positive impact on the industry for the athletes and for the families and for the coaches and everyone just involved in, our industry. So like truly hats off to you.
Thank you so much.
But as we move on from, the two accounts, let's talk about who you are. Who is the Dragan? So like, who are you when you're not running these two brands?
The big question, who am I? Yeah, I live in Sweden, as we've discussed. I turned 22 this past month. I am a big, thank you. I am a big movie fan. I like being creative. Always have different sorts of ways, if it's painting or writing or photography or just creating something. And I've always enjoyed sports and technology and making websites and everything that has to do with creativity, I guess.
Yeah.
And I love food, talking about food, eating food, cooking food.
So here, I have a question. How do you say hello in Sweden?
Hey.
Swedish. Hi?
Hey. Yeah.
Oh, that was easy.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, it's going to be some complicated word. I'm not going to be able to say it. I'm going to sound so dumb on air. There you go. Hi.
Yeah. Hi.
There you go. Too easy. There you go. All right. So who's your favorite all-star team?
I'm one of those who will find a new team every season to obsess about. But and if I have to answer, it will be World Cup Shooting Stars.
There we go.
Yeah.
World Cup Shooting Stars. Yeah, it's my wife's favorite team. I've been to the gym. I've actually been to both of their old gym and their new gym they have now. So it is, super cool. Have you had the chance to visit?
Yeah, I actually went in 2016. I was visiting some family in New York, and we got to watch them practice, which was just mind-blowing. And it was so cool to see live. And it's just giving me an emotional connection to the team even more. So favorite team.
That's super cool. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. So you made it out to the States in 2016. Do you get the chance to make it out to the States to check out any competitions ever?
I've been once for cheer.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's just been visiting family over there. But the Summit 2019, I was fortunate enough to go. Yeah.
Yeah. There we go. That's the year Jay Black. Oh, that's the year that you wrote the article on. Yeah. So Jay Black and Senior Black won that year. There we go. Good stuff. All right. So you've been to the Summit. What other competitions do you have on your bucket list that you have to come visit out here in the States then?
So Worlds is number one. And actually all of the end of season events. That my goal is to be there in Orlando for a month and watch all the end of season ones. So D2 and Worlds and ICU, All-Star Worlds looks very cool. So all of those. Yeah.
There we go. Shout out to Heidi for All-Star Worlds.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. So tell us, so it sounds like you spend most of your cheer time in Sweden. So tell me what is cheer like in Sweden?
Yeah. So first of all, it's an official sport now. It's recognized as a sport as of, I think also 2019, which is very fun. So it's growing. And it was so cool when it was being discussed, if they were going to choose it as a sport or not. And I actually made a petition on the generalchange.org site or what it is. And it was so cool to be part of that process. And we raised more than 5,000 names for making it a sport. So it was so fun to see that it was actually chosen and made a sport. And then so we have teams on all levels. We have from 1 to 7. We have dead mat, no spring floor, not on any level. And we still have teams throwing standing fulls and double baskets and everything. So it's hard, but it's evolving so much every single year. And it's been so fun to follow because when I started, we didn't have levels. I think my first year of competition, we started with levels, and now it's been our junior Algar team won ICU Worlds in 2019, and our senior Premier Algar Premier team has globed, I think 2 or 3 times, and it's been so crazy to like, follow everyone, just as everyone gets better every year.
This is super cool. There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. So we have these one team wins, one team globes. What other teams, like what other all-star program or all-star team should I be on the lookout for?
I think I'd say Cheer Infinity.
Okay.
They have solid, clean routines on all levels, and they're just a big threat to anyone.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna be looking out for them then. There we go. Cheer Infinity from Sweden. All right. Okay. So it is very clear and obvious that you love cheer. You love it. I love it. You love it. You know, game, recognized game. So tell me about what makes a great routine in your opinion.
I think, first of all, I'd say energy. Because if you don't have energy, you're just boring to watch, actually. It doesn't matter like how good you are. If you're not bringing energy and like spirit and everything, it's not as fun to watch, I think.
Yeah.
And then second, I say being clean. Like I think it's so important, no matter which skills you're doing, that it just has to be clean. Otherwise, it's just like messy to watch and sort of brings down everything. And then I'd say another thing also is choreography. Creative choreography is nice.
There we go. That's why you like World Cup.
Yeah.
That's funny. All right. Diana, you've been great. You truly have been great. Okay, so let's get into these last couple of questions. So what needs to start, stop, or change in the industry?
I think it's important at competitions and just for everyone to stop like these conspiracies and just hate towards teams and coaches. And like, I think it would benefit everyone. So just more transparency overall. And then stop, I think the most like urgent thing has to be misconduct and all these athlete safety problems and everything that just has to stop. Because if it's a sport for no matter who does the sport, but especially if there's so many kids involved, I think that just has to go now, yesterday.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. And if it's change, I think more structure to the sport, which is also hard because it's such a new sport if you compare to many. But I think it's some structure, like with divisions and levels, and like athletes themselves don't know like what's global, what's international open, what's 4.2, everything just like in some way, I don't know what that would look like, but bringing more structure to the sport overall. There
we go, dude. Diana, you're killing it. You're great.
Thank you.
You're great. Oh man, this is gonna be such a treat for our audience for sure. Okay, so here's your opportunity. Yeah. No, for sure. Here's your opportunity to debunk any rumors or myths or narratives that you hear either about yourself or you feel going around the industry. So what do you want to debunk right now, if there's anything?
Yeah, I think, as you can probably tell from the Instagram accounts and everything, but the pressure of being on higher levels has to go. Because, like, everyone just wants to throw skills and level up and do this and do that. And I'm like, be happy where you are. Because, like, level 1 teams are honestly as amazing as level 7. Like, I cannot stress that enough. And I think that you forget as an athlete, because there's always this pressure on you to be on a higher team. But I just think that, that has to go.
I'm gonna let last question.
Yeah,
you've been great. Tell our audience everywhere where they can find your brands online.
Yes. So Lower Levels Cheer is only on Instagram at the moment. And it's just that name. You'll find it probably if you just search for it. And then the Cheer Bus is that name on almost any platform. On Instagram, we have the.cheer. Cheer Buzz because the name was taken, which is annoying. But just search for the Cheer Buzz, and I think you'll find it on every platform.
There we go. All right,
Yeah.
Diana, thank you so much for joining us. You have been great, and you're welcome back anytime.
Thank you so much for having me. I'd be happy to come back.
Again, another huge shout out to Diana. Thank you so much for coming on the show and talking to us all about the Cheer Buzz and lower levels cheer. We truly wish you nothing but the best this season and hope you continue to be the positive influence that you've been in the industry. For everyone else, catch you guys next time. 5, 6, 7, 8. We're out.